Made 2 crucial marks last week to win the match, but she was missing the head pin to the right. She makes that adjustment. She could really do some damage up there. She's looking at the 3 and the 8 now. Lots of help for her.
And there it is.
Needed every bit of that help too. Oops, and I put down an 8. How can I do that?
Well, it was 8 until she converted it for the spare.
This scoreboard, I mean the keyboard here, is really acting up lately. Oh, right through the middle. Let's see. Yeah. Thought she might get a break coming forward, but it's 5 fill on the spare.
Last week, Debbie and Bev had 6 marks, all spares, in their win over Vi Byron and Lynn Perrin. But it was Debbie, as Dan said, who put those 2 critical spares together late in the match to help them to the victory. 25 opening pair for Debbie Regan, and now JoAnn Vandiver. JoAnn making her 5th appearance overall with us here on the Winds.
Got a break, got a break.
Last time JoAnn was here was last season in ladies doubles, and there's a spare in the first.
JoAnn, she starts the ball well. She gets right into it. Very animated up there at the line. A little extra body English.
Last year, JoAnn was paired with Judy Witcher. They won their first match and then lost to a team made up of, guess who? Deb Regan and Tony Austin.
She drops 7 on her spare. Grabs the lead by a couple pins. Trying to make it 2 in a row? No.
And the 10 for JoAnn. And now Bev Surette. Leaving it right in the pocket and kicking out the 6-pin.
That was a big one to go out of there. She may get the 4 as well, but the biggest one was the 6 going down. Leaves her just the 4-7. Good spare leave.
Well, that's a good start for Bev, too, because I think she was somewhat disappointed by her performance, certainly late in the match last week. So both she and her partner start with marks. 5 fill. And yes, for the spare, the 4 horsemen plus the 8 in the back. Tough shot.
2 in a row. Well, the first look this week anyways. Carol Downey.
Hardly her first appearance ever, though. Well, of course, Carol's made a lot of appearances anyway because she used to be a scorekeeper for us. But also as a competitor, she's made more appearances on Stars and Strikes than any other woman. This is her 17th, and she starts with a 10. Carol wearing that brace on her right arm. Now, you commented on this during the warm-ups. Wasn't she wearing it on the left arm during warm-ups?
Yeah, I think she probably has some tendonitis or something, and she was just warming up without it, and then she switches it to the throwing hand. I would assume that's...
Debbie Regan rocks the 7 and the 10, but only gets the 10 pin to go down. That's an 8 fill on a spare, though.
But a makeable spare with the wood. Well, she turned. Now, here's a situation you might want to miss the 5 pin, hit the back of the wood. That's what she's trying to do.
Yes!
Very done. Very nicely done.
Very nice shot. We'll get another look at that one.
here's the situation. I think if she's on the 5-pin, she pushes the piece of wood into the pit. It doesn't swing around to get the 7-pin. Great shot by Debbie, and right back in the pocket.
Looking for the 4th consecutive mark for the team on the single pin, the 5.
Oh, she's going to go by on the left.
77.5 though for the team.
So we left them a wake-up call, huh?
And now 87 through 6. JoAnn Vandiver will step up. JoAnn from Newport, New Hampshire. She and her husband Michael have 4 children. 14-year-old John, 13-year-old Todd, Wesley, who's 4, and 3-year-old Sarah. JoAnn is right through the middle. JoAnn works as a stock handler for a public service company of New Hampshire and does a lot of her bowling, not surprisingly, at Sunset Lanes in Newport, which is owned by her dad.
Trying to clear away the 3, 6, and 10. She's going to do that for the 9. So very quickly, team of Bev Surette, Deb Regan leading by 22.
Well, she'll shoot at the same 3 pins she just knocked down on the other lane. This time for the spare. And no.
A little too full on the 3.
And it's a 9 box. So the difference is 23. Thanks to that explosion of marks by Deb Regan and Bev Surette. And Bev Surette is going to have a shot at something here. She kicks out the head pin. Watch out, though. It's not sitting in a very good spot.
Well, you just got to forget about it because you got to shoot right at the pin. You cap the wood. Who knows what's going to happen?
You can't really tell from the camera angle, but that piece of wood is about 3 feet in front of the 8-pin. Went by it.
It's actually resting part of it on the lane itself.
Oh, and it was there. It's a 10 box.
A slower ball in that situation seems to help a little bit. Keeps everything in play with a hard thrower. Just clear the ball and the pin away. I heard Debbie say, get up, get up, get up. She knew it was going to be short and to the right. But the 1, 2, 9, 10 piece of wood in front of the 10 and touching the 9 should help. Maybe.
Ooh, let's see. Will it spin? No. Bev Surette and Deb Regan, her partner, the red team today. JoAnn Vandiver and Carol Downey, the blue team. And that'll be a 9. So an opening here for Carol Downey. Carol's high single, a 189. And a high triple of 437. Playing it inside and almost getting it. Carol with 3 children, Noelle, Cheryl, and JJ, and 2 grandsons, Jamie and Andrew. Carol does a lot of her bowling at the Park Place Lanes in Wyndham and works as the manager of the Andover Federal Credit Union. On the head pin and getting extra pins, leaving the 9 and 10.
And she'll definitely play the wood to the left of the 9 pin, trying to slide everything across.
Oh, yes. Nice shot. Second mark for the team. Deb Regan.
Four horsemen and 9, plus the 9.
everything but the 7.
You see the lone 9 box. Everything else is 10 or better. It's 1 pin standing this entire game.
If not for the 2 5 fills up near the top, the score might be even higher.
So too happy with that leave. That looked like a pretty good ball going in. 5-7 left, no wood to help. Trying to cut the 5 pin over into the 7.
Not quite. Almost. Well, after a blazing start, Surette and Regan can't get any marks up on the board in the second half of the game, so they will wind up with a 125 opening game. That score now corrected to 125, and a chance here for JoAnn Vandiver if she were to put up 2 marks. She's working on a mark to get the lead.
Wow.
How about that?
Well, she drops 8 on the spare. I'd say she'd probably want to play the wood to the left, to the right, and have it come off the wall. That's what she's trying. Oh my!
How did she do that?
8 into the 7. We have to ask her about that. She was trying to clip the wood, but she just got by it and cut the 8 into the 7.
Oh. JoAnn had a huge smile on her face when she turned around from that one.
Those are the ones you got to turn around and say yes, like that's the way I wanted to play that. Boy, that was a big shot. It comes back with a 9 fill.
Spare here, and she could take the lead. No. So Surette and Regan will hold on to the lead, but what a shot that was. Cutting the 8 into the 7. A 10, a 121, and a fine hand for JoAnn Vandiver. What a shot that was. Still 2 games to go here, championship week. Only 4 pins the difference. We'll be back in a minute. Carol Downey.
Team trailing by just 4 pins now. Thanks to a big finish by JoAnn Vandiver. 4 horsemen looking at Carol plus the 9 pin.
No.
I know I've said this time and time again, but it seems like if you have the 4 horsemen, you'll leave 1 pin standing. If you got the 4 horsemen plus 1 other one, you'll get them all but 1. And usually it's the one in the back. This time it's the 7 pin. Carol says she hates that pin. I think we all hate pins that stand up. No matter if it's a 7 pin or anything else. Right in the pocket. Wow. 10 pin is going to stay though. Let's see if the wood is going to stay. One piece is, but that's not the piece she wanted to stick around. It's the 5, 8, and 10. I dare say she probably have to try to split the 5 and the 8. Yeah, she's going to be close.
Ooh. A nice run. A quick reminder that next Sunday here on the Winds we'll be back to our men's singles and men's doubles format. Already we have 4 qualifiers for the 5th annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, and we have 4 qualifying teams for the 2nd annual Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions. So next week we will resume the search for our other teams, and there's a strike for Bev Surette.
I just didn't see how either one of those, the 4 or the 7, 4 or the 8, could stand up. For a while they were defying gravity.
First strike of the match for either team.
Just missed the head pin this time to the left. I know a lot of you who have been going into your local bowling center and talking about the New England Sports Museum, because we've been mentioning it, and the start date unfortunately has been pushed ahead again. Is it ahead, or should I say ahead or back? Back. Yep. To April 1st. And that's not an April Fool's joke. That's the latest start update now is April 1st. A project of this magnitude obviously takes some time and some planning, and we'll keep you abreast, but right now it looks like April 1st. So
I was in the Galleria, the Cambridge Side Galleria, the home of the museum, just a few days ago, and a lot of activity going on there. It's, as you say, though, it is a huge project, and there's going to be so much interactive demonstrations and so forth, a lot of interesting things to see, and of course it'll be well worth the wait. How about this? 7 and the 8 again? Oh, this time she did it the easy way. She's smiling about it. She knew about it. JoAnn Vandiver, if you tuned in late, cut the 8-pin into the 7-pin for a spare back in the first game. That time she had the wood and she used it.
Ooh.
Oh my.
This time she can't even get the 2 and the 8. Just the 2-pin goes out.
The fundraising activities continue?
Yes. The bowl-a-thons with the muscular dystrophy now are in progress, as well as the contributions and things like that. So if you haven't heard of any, speak to your local bowling center and ask them if you'd like to do something to help us with the financing of the Sports Museum. They're more than glad to let you know just how you can go about it.
Well, a tough 4-box after that spare for JoAnn Vandiver. Here's Debbie Regan now. Debbie will shoot at the 5 and the 10.
The wood's, it's not going to stay. She's going to have to cut the 5 into the 10.
Well, I mean, we've already seen the 8 into the 7.
That's right. And this is actually easier because the 5-pin is out a little. It's not parallel with the 10-pin.
Talked about the qualifiers that have already made it into the Tournament of Champions. Just to refresh your memory, in singles, the guys who have already qualified are Paul Berger, Peter Flynn, Tom Morgan, and Bob Mazur. That's a pretty good field already. We got 2 more to go. And in doubles, Gary Carrington and Joe Ashline are the top-seeded team right now. Jack Sanick and Brian McKinley, Paul St. Pierre and Steve Reno, Chuck Godzik and Peter Flynn. Well, Debbie almost had the rare pleasure of shooting then at the 5-7 after the 5-10, and she hit the double wood in the channel.
Actually can gain some in count, even though she was opposite a spare. Oh, that's a 9.
So the lead now 12 in the match as we approach almost the midway point of this championship match. Deb Regan and Bev Surette in the lead, and we'll be returning in just a minute. Carol Downey. Boy, great looking first ball. Leaves the 5-pin solid. But missing the single. Covers it for the 10.
Still have some work to do with the 3rd ball.
2 more open frames for Downey and Vandiver. So Bev Surette will come up with a chance to do some more damage. Just a 6-box for Carol. And Bev will shoot at the 5, 9, and 10. And that wood going into the channel doesn't help.
No, she's just got to shoot at the 5-pin and hope she can move everything from left to right. She's got a shot at it. Just a little too far to the left. Now she's going to try to grab 2 and get out of town with a 9. at 8. Lead is 10.
Remember, $400 to the runner-up team, $800 to the winning team.
That's that 7-pin to go down. It's not going to. 1-2-7 though. Makeable spare, especially with her ball breaking from right to left. She used to try to split the 1 and the 2. And it's not going to catch the head pin. But you can gain 4 big ones in count because she's opposite a 6 frame. So the lead goes back up to 13. Very light, that hit of the 1-2 pocket.
Turns it over, not quite enough though.
Yeah, she really does turn it over. Really turns that wrist, puts a lot of spin on the ball.
And it'll be a 7. No, bad boxes hurting the team of Downey and Vandiver in this game. They've had a 1 fill on a spare, a 4, 6, and a 7. Better this time, though. No bad box this time for JoAnn Vandiver. First strike for the team. Nice mix on that ball.
It seems like they all kind of mushroomed together. Last 4 pins almost fell together. Debbie Regan off target to the left.
Speaking about the tournaments of the 2 tournaments of champions coming up a little bit later on in the spring, for those of you who'd like to plan ahead a little bit, the first week of the tournament of champions for both singles and doubles will be April 25th. April the 25th, right here on the Winds, beginning at 12 noon. Of course, both tournaments run for 5 weeks, starting April the 25th. For those of you who'd like to attend the Tournament of Champions tapings in person, we'll have the dates for those a little bit later on.
Nice 10 box by Debbie Regan. Now she wants marks, and she's going to shoot at the 5-pin for a spare. And just nothing hanging around. It's all by itself.
And I should say that by later on, I don't mean later on today. Later on in the season, we'll have the taping dates for the Tournament of Champions. Debbie not happy about missing that single.
Made you think that? Guess you let out a roar. That
Well, big spot here for Carol Downey now, working on a strike.
Trailing by 16. Chance to really put into single numbers. Let that one go a little too soon.
No, let's see.
I was going to say it would be disappointing 5 or 6 on the strike, but you ended up with 9. That'll cut the lead to 7.
And it's a 10 box. So the lead now down to 7 through completed frames. And I'll tell you what, if this match ends up being anything close to what we've had the last couple of weeks in mixed doubles, we'll have a great finish. We had a great finish here on ladies doubles last week. Some terrific matches during this series.
Every week so far in the mixed doubles. Went right down to the final few frames. And just sliding by the head pin. Well, chance for Debbie Regan to put a mark or 2 up to increase that lead. Otherwise, it's going to be a tight match. 94.
And 215 for the 2-string total for Downey and Vandiver. And here's Bev Surette.
That's right, I said Debbie Regan. It's Bev started this game off, so she'll finish the final 2, and that looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great shot.
Without the wood, probably would have gone. I don't think the wood was really a factor at all. Let's see. Nope.
Absolutely right. Spare in the 9th.
Well, Surette and Regan will still have the lead after 2. And it looks like it'll be in double figures.
Stands at, I believe, 13 right now. She's got a shot at this one.
Oh.
Can gain 2 more and count. Push the lead to 15.
Nope, it'll stay. A 9-box, 104. 229 for Surette and Regan. 215 for Vandiver and Downey. 14 pins the difference. 1 game to go to decide the championship. We'll be back in just a jiff. Well, if you'd like to send us a line, there's the address to Stars and Strikes Doubles. We'll get you another look at that a little bit later on, a longer look. Be a speed writer in order to write that down. $9 for Debbie Regan, her team with a 14-pin lead. Crossing over a little too far to the Brooklyn side, and look at this.
She would like to see the head pin stand up, I'm sure. Now I know she would have.
7, 9, and 10.
Now there's one piece right next to the channel.
Debbie asking a question. I think she was asking
if that piece of wood was good.
Right. Sure she wants it there. Right at it. Oh, just missed that front piece.
That's what you want to catch a piece of that. Deflect the ball to the left a little.
Instead, it's a 9, a pair of 9s, and an opening right away for JoAnn Vandiver. JoAnn's high single, a 196. High triple, 426. The left-hander working on lane 30 here at the Londonderry Bowling Center. And a 9.
So the lead remains at 14.
By the way, we haven't mentioned it for a while, but as has been true all season, the singles program, the noon show, that involves the regular qualifying for the Tournament of Champions, is open to men and women. And so far, we have not had any women qualify in the top 5, but it'll happen eventually.
Oh, good shot.
How about that? The 9 and the 10. This time with wood. She converted the 7 and 8 earlier without wood.
Just enough to swing by the 10 pin. Big mark, trailing by 13.
JoAnn's having a pretty good time. That was the 6th mark for the team. Each team now with 6, and that's how close the match is. Bev Surette trying to make up for missing the head pin. Slides by. And the 10.
Catches the head pin go down and eventually comes off the wall for the 10 pin. 28 after 3. That's a good looking ball.
A better one. Yes,
oh,
to the
yes.
strike. And a double high five from her partner.
And here the 4 pin and falls backwards into the 7. Carol Downey working on a spare, trailing by 13.
be a 6 fill, tightening the match a little bit.
1, 2, 4, and 8. Piece of wood behind the 2.
Oh, big mark there. Any kind of a fill here will even this thing up.
Actually, 7 fill would tie it up, but however, will be facing the strike already posted. So it'll be 6.
And the diamond.
2, 4, 5, and 8. Trying to make it 3 marks in a row. Looks pretty good. Needs some help.
Oh. Great effort by Carol. Well, ho-hum, another nail-biter here on Stars and Strikes doubles. We'll take a break and come back with the rest of the match as we try to decide our championship here. It's close. We'll see you in a minute. All right, we'll give you a little longer look here at that address now. Stars and Strikes doubles, WNDS TV 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. Again, we don't get a chance to answer all of the mail on the air, but if you would like it answered on the doubles program as opposed to the singles program, then just make sure you put doubles somewhere in the envelope. Okay, 6 boxes to go. Debbie Regan will pick things up for us here.
And working on a strike, leading by a mere pin right now. She'll increase the lead by these first 2 balls. Off target there, 5 so far.
Let's see.
That's
Let's
a big
see.
one.
Oh, yes. Great shot.
It's just a matter of time whether or not the 9-pin was going to go. Got the 4 horsemen out of there and just tipping over the 9-pin for the spare.
Oh, my.
The 4 and 10. Only hope is to try to cut it on the left-hand side. Very delicate shot, difficult shot.
And that'll be a 10 right down alongside the channel. Perfect.
Pushes the lead back up to 11. Now that's through boxes complete. That's through the 4th frame. So they still opposite a spare 8, 10. So without the benefit of a mark, they'll fall further behind, or double mark might just give them the lead. Gonna have a shot at one. 6, 9, 10.
Let's see for JoAnn. Yes. Kicking out the 10-pin. Matching the spare by Debbie Regan. And keeping this thing very close.
The lead is 19. That's including the 8 fill. So she'll cut into that lead now with her fill.
Oh, big 9 drop. Well, a mark here would make it just about even, but watch out. Double wood. And it's slipping out into the lane a little bit. This is going to be very tough. Nope.
Lead is now 10 pins in favor of Surette and Regan. That's what she wanted to do.
10-pin lead, 4 boxes to go.
And the final 2 frames for each bowler.
Each team with 8 marks to this point. Surette and Regan have the extra strike. They have 2. Vandiver and Downey with 1.
4 horsemen plus the 9 and the 10. Piece of wood should help them with a 9 and help her with a 9 and a 10.
And that'll be a 7.
Ooh. Could be a critical miss there. You want to grab 2 there in that situation and get out with a 9. Little mistake. See if she can bounce back now. Her final frame of the match.
feeling that no matter what happens, it's going to go down to the last box.
Yeah. I got that overtime feeling for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, now there's something we haven't had for a long time. In fact, we've never had it in doubles.
Lead is 10 pins. However, Carol Downey's facing a 7 and a 9.
Right on the head pin.
3, 5, 6, 10. Makeable spare.
Let's see. Yes. Oh, what a big mark that is.
So that drops the lead to 7 because of the 7 box opposite the 7. So a 7 fill here. This match is tied up. Just catches the head pin. They'll take the lead.
Wow. Carol Downey making some noise here in her final 2.
3-pin, piece of wood resting next to it. And she'll get that without any problem. 2 in a row.
Well, after Carol finishes her bowling for the day with 2 marks, I feel it's only appropriate to mention. Carol would never mention it on her own, I'm sure, but she has been in some considerable back pain prior to the taping of this match. In fact, up until a couple of days before the taping, there might have been some question as to whether she'd be able to compete, but she finished in a blaze of glory there with 2 huge marks.
And now Deb Regan has got to put some marks up. Nope. Team trails by 3, but they're still got a spare working against them. That's the one she wanted. She really have to put a mark up here and a big fill and hope that JoAnn does not fill that spare.
Debbie crossing over, and look at that.
Well, if the wood stays out, she's going to have a shot. Not a great one, but the wood's rolling back. Farther back it goes, unless it's going to turn for her, it's not going to help her. See what it turns. I don't think it turned. You're almost going to have to cap that piece of wood in the left-hand cap and have the ball bounce over for the 7. No. Oh, she kept it on the lane. I didn't think that was possible. There's a situation where a slower ball kept that 5-pin on the plate right there. Our hope is to drop 7, 8, and 9, strike, put the pressure onto JoAnn.
The head pin flew over.
Not be enough, but
117 and a 3-string total 346. So that means Vandiver and Downey have to come up with a 132 in this game.
They're already at a 129 clip. So she had to avoid disaster, get a decent fill. That's pretty good. That just might do it.
Well, that's 117 plus the 8 is 125. Certainly if she were to get this mark, that would do it. We're going to have that piece of wood checked just to make sure that it's legal. It appears that it is, and I don't think it's going to affect the shot at all, but I'll have Cindy Sissom go down and look at it in any event.
Well, it's closer than I thought. I thought it was well in play, but she's I got to see it from here. That was clearly in by an eighth of an inch.
Gave us the little signal, just that much. Is in play, but JoAnn, I'm sure, won't want any part of it. And went right in between. 125 right now. They need 132 to win. Well, it's going to be an 8 box.
That's crucial. 2 pins standing there.
So 7 pins to win.
Just like that.
6 pins for your overtime.
Yeah. Little distraction. Ball's coming off the rack.
Of course, during the most tense moment. 7 pins to win, and there it is. Oh, what a way to finish it. JoAnn Vandiver wins the match in style with a strike in the 10th.
That beats the 6 box anytime.
That was not a cheap strike in any way.
No.
Well, the half-wister's okay now. It's okay now. This will be the highest 3-string total of the ladies doubles series, and how appropriate that it should go to our championship team, JoAnn Vandiver and Carol Downey, celebrating the win of 358 to Deb Regan and Bev Surette's 346. Terrific match. We'll be back to award the prize money, talk to the bowlers, and tell you about next week right after these words. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Londonderry Bowling Center. Our championship match is already in the bank, and we're going to have a chance now to chat with all the bowlers and, more importantly, give away the prize money. So let's first talk to Bev Surette and Debbie Regan. Come on up. Big round of applause for them. Terrific effort, Bev. There you go. And Debbie, one for you as well, $400 to share for second place. That was a terrific match. Obviously, one team had to lose it, but not for lack of effort. Terrific job out there.
That's for sure. It was tough. When they get that strike, the last frame, forget it. I knew it was over.
Well, they had big marks from both of them, really, at the end. Don't pay no attention to Dan Murphy over there in the corner.
He said I have to smile. I don't have to smile. I don't like to lose. I don't know anyone who does. So if they tell you they do, they lied.
Tough competitors and a great match again. Congratulations, and hope to see you back in soon. Thanks very much. Debbie Regan and Bev Surette. And now let's have our winners come up, JoAnn Vandiver and Carol Downey. I have more checks here. One for you, JoAnn, and one for you, Carol. Congratulations. Big marks from each of you there coming down the stretch. I'm sure you were thinking just hit the head pin on that last ball.
Yes, I was. Whatever it was a bonus.
Strike was a bonus,
yep.
right?
Yep.
And of course, Carol, all set up by the two big spares that you put up in 7 and 8. Those were critical.
Yes. Thank heavens.
Well, again, a nice win for both of you. Congratulations, and for you, JoAnn, this maybe makes up for last year, because I know you were here last year in doubles as well. So, but this one feels a lot better, I'm sure.
Fun. This was a lot of fun.
Well, I know we were talking about you were having fun. I mean, you made the 7-8, and geez, you made a couple of terrific shots.
And the one on the spare, that was fun, you know. But
and I know you enjoyed watching them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations for both of you. That's terrific. Nice job, JoAnn and Carol. This for you, and we'll give Dan Murphy another chance to come in here and lend his expert analysis. Did I blame you for that? And it wasn't you?
I get blamed for a lot of things, but that was not me.
Well, I suppose we should credit Jim then, because it was Jim.
Right.
Okay. Well, it was a terrific match. Down to the final box, it just seemed destined to be that way, and JoAnn and Carol came up with the big marks.
Yeah, absolutely. They just never stopped plugging. You got to give credit to Debbie and Bev too, because they bowl well and just wasn't. They come up a little short, and JoAnn threw the strike at the end. It was the difference of the match.
All right. Again, a reminder: next Sunday at 12 noon here on the Winds, we will be back with the men's singles and men's doubles formats. Of course, as we resume our search for our competitors toward this year's Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. So we hope you do join us next Sunday at 12 noon. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good week, everybody.